welcome into another edition of Ramblin with Ryno. What is up, Tyler Cup? Ryno, Ryan Branham here with you to give you the latest and greatest in sports, pop culture, and all the rants and ramblings of Ryno. And a couple of topics under the gun this week, as this show is going to be maybe an abbreviated edition. I had a busy afternoon, but we wanted to make sure we got this in on a Thursday. Boy, these topics are going to be fun. I'm just looking at these for the first time. Well, really the second time. I glanced at them via text, but we got a ton of topics to talk about, and we might just kind of skim through the college and NFL. But really the big story has been the NCAA basketball scandal. That has been the big story in the sports world, and we talked about it on the Locker Room Sports Show, Corner 2.7 on Monday, that this thing is only the tip of the iceberg. You had a Gamecock assistant involved. Lamont Evans has now been fired. Don't even know why that was a news story. We knew that was coming. Rick Pitino was the first casualty, and I think
the biggest casualty.
But I think there's going to be many, many more.
There's going to be a lot of guys on the lower level too, you know, from AAU, high school, recruiters, whatever you want to call them. I mean, I seen the #1 recruit in the country was coerced into trying to get him to commit to Kansas. I saw the 19th overall prospect received $125,000 or offered. I don't know, received. That's gray area. So the and all the experts came out and said the 19th guy is getting 125. What's the 10th guy, the 5th guy, the 2nd guy? You know, and that may come to play with Zion Williamson in our state. Probably, you know, I don't know what is he ranked nationally.
Oh, he's #1.
Is he, oh, he is number
well, he might be #2.
Okay, the #1 I saw was another guy, so maybe he's 2 or 3.
Yeah, the Marquise guy from California, I think, is now #1.
Okay. Well, anyway, Zion Williamson is more known than any of those in high school basketball because of the viral, you know, dunks and plays and everything. So, you know, could there be something going on with him? I'm not saying that there is, but you know, a lot of these guys, and then if you get caught, you know, you're not going to be able to play basketball. You know, that kid that got $125,000, he's not going to be able to play basketball at Louisville. So then, you know, what happens? What is his punishment? What is the school's punishment? Rick Pitino is fired, but what does that mean for Louisville? They get a 2-year, you know, death penalty, and then when you start bringing Kansas in the mix and Southern Cal, and then you got, just like you mentioned, you got all these other little factors. That the guy was at South Carolina a few years ago. You know, he was making $600,000 at Oklahoma State.
How much involvement did he have with South Carolina recruiting?
You know, say Sindarius Stonewall, maybe say P.J. Dozier, and people say, well, those guys didn't get drafted. But P.J. Dozier was in the first-round projections, you know, going into last year, and Stonewall as well was projected and got drafted eventually. But I don't know, man. It could shake up a lot of stuff, you know, and the NCAA ain't even involved yet.
Well, the funny thing about this is we all know about NCAA investigations and how they take 8 months to a year, sometimes even longer. It's kind of funny when you had the Heisman Trophy yanked away from Reggie Bush. That came like a year and change after the fact. And it was like, oh, I forgot about that happened. Yeah. Like the punishment came so far long after that. This is the FBI. This is serious. We're talking jail time. We're not talking about yanking wins away from a program out of a record book. We're talking about jail time.
Like Chuck Person faces 80 years in prison.
Yeah.
I mean, you got guys selling crack, rape, murder that don't get 20-year plea deal. This guy was recruiting athletes and is going to get, he won't get 80 years, but on trial for 80 years?
Yep.
Yeah, are you kidding? 80 years for basketball? Like if he'd retired from the NBA and walked away, it'd been better off than what he's, you know, being involved with now. And that goes back to Bruce Pearl, who's already had a show cause at Tennessee, so he's done. Bruce Pearl's done. He'll be in Fox Sports doing college basketball, if that. I mean, this is going to be a trickle-down effect, and this, I think we just get the tip of the iceberg. There's so many AAU guys behind the scenes and all this other stuff. It could turn basketball upside down.
I just wonder what's next. I don't think we'll ever get to the point where they pay players. I don't think we'll ever get there. I really don't. Because I don't think there's any way you can manage it. I don't think there's any way that you can say, all right, we'll pay college basketball, but not women's basketball. When do you stop?
Well,
Title IX comes into play.
The thing about it is it would have to be set for the Zion Williamson if he goes to Duke and the 13th guy who's a walk. I mean, it would have to be the same. And it can't be. It's not fair.
But
when you start handing money out, you can't, you know. you can hand him the third $3,000 payment when it's really supposed to be one, and you can't track it, and then it gets crazy.
But you can't gauge what a player will do with that money.
That's true.
That is what I think becomes dangerous territory when you hand college kids X amount of dollars, and then you're going to have more trouble.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like you're going to have more trouble. I really do. We've been doing this for how long, and the players haven't been paid? I just think it is a nasty territory that we're entering into.
I agree 100%. And the thing about basketball is, if you're Zion Williamson, and I just keep using that name because it's familiar, he's only going to be on campus 6 months.
That's it.
6 or 8 months.
That's it.
He's going to pass 2 classes, which will be like dancing and hit some crazy made-up history class. He'll qualify in December, and before he gets his next report card, which will be May or June, he'll have an agent already.
You know, all the athletes take sports management and hotel management.
Yeah, it's always something that's...
I love the hotel management major.
Like when Matt Leinart, when he came back for his senior year, he took ballroom dancing,
took
golf,
dancing.
and basketball. I mean, come on, man. Get the hell out of here. That shouldn't be in college.
I want to know what the end game is. I want to fast forward the next 2-3 years, because this is going to be a long, drawn-out process. Even though the FBI is involved, I still think they're going to keep finding things, because the FBI is still under investigation. It's not like the FBI came out and said, hey, we're done, this is what we found.
Yeah.
No, they're still digging.
They're arresting people.
Yeah, left and right.
And they got, there's no way to get away. NCAA, the North Carolina thing went on for years, and they still didn't even come up with a solution.
Yeah.
They still played for national championship this year. So, FBI ain't going to be near as lenient. Because NCAA has got something invested in it. And the FBI don't have anything invested in it. You don't want to cut the throat of North Carolina, but the FBI don't care. So.
I'm laughing at these topics. We're going to dive back into that at some point in the show and as we go along. But I want to get to your laundry list of topics that is on the mind of Ryno. The first one, I don't know anything about. Kylie Jenner is pregnant. Who TF is it? No, who the fuck is Travis Scott?
Come on, man. Read it like it's
I wasn't sure what you were trying to say. So Travis Scott, who is that?
I'm not asking you.
Is that who the daddy is?
You listen to 939 sometimes or something other, man. Come on.
Yeah, I do.
He's a rapper, but he's not Kanye. He's not a guy I've ever even heard of. I tell you what, he's a smart son of a bitch, and I'll tell you why. You're locked into Kardashian money now, so and with Kanye and Tristan Thompson, which is hooked up to LeBron. Whatever he puts out, he's got full financing now. I don't know who the guy is.
Travis Scott is a rapper. I've never heard of him.
Yeah, his name is like Jock something, but he calls himself Travis Scott. That's a hell of a stage name. And it sounds like a bone to me, but yeah,
I haven't heard of any
the biggest problem about them having a kid, Kim's having another kid, now Khloe's pregnant with Tristan Thompson is we're gonna have 40 more years of keeping up with the Kardashians.
It extends the careers.
Kris Jenner is smarter than Steven Spielberg. She's invented with no imagination. I can say one whore daughter for sure, and a bunch of other ones, and she's made her brand. Travis Scott, all the guys you could have picked in the world. Hell, the other sister's dating Blake Griffin.
At least Kanye's got money.
Blake Griffin got $100 million. Tristan Thompson got $100 million. Yeah. You took this fucking guy that's got his rap CDs on the front of Indian gas stations for $5. Fuck out of here, man. That guy was like a broke ass Coolio or something.
Somebody's gonna tweet us and be like, "Hey man, Travis Scott's all right."
Yeah, I'm sure they'll probably post one of his songs. Can't be good.
I'm curious what your answer is on this next topic. Top 3 video games of all time. I've got to remove myself. I play 2 video games currently at 32 years old. And that's the only 2 games I'll play. I'll talk about them here in a minute.
Well,
but are we talking about
history,
like his childhood?
History, yeah.
Childhood?
All things aside, I know graphics are different, but if you had to sit, and you could go back to when you were 13, 17, 12, 9, 22, what's the 3 lockdown that you probably put them up, basically the ones you put the most hours in your lifetime? I'm just curious.
Madden is one.
Yeah, of course.
Madden in middle school and high school, but before that, it was Tecmo Super Bowl.
Tecmo's on everybody's list I could probably pull up.
Super Mario Brothers on N64, and added to that Super Mario 3.
Super Mario 3 was the best one.
That was the best one, yep. Let me think here. NBA Jam. Legend of Zelda was a big one for me. I could never get past like the 3rd level, but I loved that game. Legend of Zelda was a big one for me. What about you?
I mean, I currently don't own anything gaming. You know, it's been a while.
But when young Ryno, Ryno was
Nintendo was my thing. Was everybody's thing of my.
You were a big Duck Hunt guy, weren't you?
No. I didn't want the free games, man. The first Tecmo Bowl was my jam, and all the RBI baseball that I played. But Tecmo Bowl, Contra, and Pro Wrestling.
Which
was
one?
My three. Just the first one that came out, Nintendo Pro Wrestling, had the Amazon, had the Ninja.
Don't remember that one.
Yeah, it was low in graphics.
WWF Raw was a big one for us. We played that. That was Super Nintendo.
Well, the one that was the best wrestling game, I think, was the arcade one, where you had to they just walked up like this right here.
Yep. I think that was called Superstars.
Yeah,
Sergeant Slaughter, Ultimate Warrior. You had the Road Warriors, Big Boss Man, Mr. Perfect, Hulk Hogan, Earthquake. I think Duggan was on that. Jake the Snake was on that.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was a good one.
I saw that in Nashville. We was in Nashville and walked into an old store and they had it in there, and I pulled out 2 quarters and it got me for about 6 minutes. So
to me, that's a whole different discussion when you talk about like arcade games. Back in the day, like I loved the old X-Men game, and someone's listening to this and they know exactly what I'm talking about. You could be all 4 X-Men at once and go through. Remember, had the running screen, the Ninja Turtles game on arcade.
I was gonna say, Ninja Turtles game was my best because you could be either one, other the sword or the sticks or the nunchucks or whatever. And the Ninja Turtle game was probably
X-Men was the same format as Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
It was literally the same format.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, the only thing different was the characters.
Yeah.
Speed Racer was a great arcade game. Great arcade game. Oh my gosh, I remember that Frankie's Fun Park. That was so good.
Okay.
What? Any others? Contra's good. I wouldn't have pegged you for a Contra.
Oh man, I love Contra. No, but college football, NCAA before, NCAA when it was Bill Walsh's football, and the first year that came out, it came out with cards. They didn't use the name. It couldn't say Florida State. It would say Tallahassee.
I thought Bill Walsh was the Sega Genesis, or was he Super Nintendo too?
It was Sega Genesis.
It was Sega. Genesis. I thought it was Sega. Yeah.
Genesis. But every card had like their attributes, and it had all the stuff except the actual name and mascot, whatever. And it was great, and all the way up to they took it away with the copyright infringement. But Madden was another one. I loved NBA Jam or NBA Live.
NBA Live was good.
Yeah, we played a good bit of NBA Live when I was in my late 20s. We'd get off of work and we'd throw $5 or $10 down and play. Yeah, those are.
I don't know how much you would enjoy it now, but NBA 2K is pretty fun. In 2017,
I can imagine.
It's pretty fun.
My thumbs would have to get back in shape from all the X's and squares and L2s, but back in the day with just the L1 and R1 and the 4 other pads, it was fun. I like all the sports games. All the sports games were fun.
Me, as 32 years old now, I play 2 games. 3. I'll throw NBA in there. I do have an Xbox One, but it's mostly for Netflix. But I play the WWE 2K games, the wrestling games, anything Batman I'll play. I can play those games for hours. And then NBA. So those are the 3 that I'll play in my adult life. All right. Boy. Do you think the kneeling will hurt the NFL overall? First off, no. This whole Facebook rave of saying, they're going to kneel and I'm going to boycott the NFL. Nobody cares. Do you know how much money the NFL makes? They don't care. Now, are ratings down a little bit? Yeah, but when ratings are down, we are still talking millions of people that are still watching.
That was going to be my point. You're talking about multi-billion-dollar industry.
You're talking fantasy football. You're talking gambling.
You're not talking about NASCAR or something.
Nobody cares about your patriotism. Honest to God, nobody.
Yeah. I mean,
will they lose a couple thousand? Sure, but are they going to lose a couple million? I don't think so.
Well, I
don't think they lose a couple million.
Subscriber-wise, like for DirecTV, I think they've lost, over $1 million worth. But at the end of the day, they can make that up in parking in one game, selling hot dogs for one game, one day of beer.
TV rights.
So the thing about it, the people who say they're boycotting don't watch it anyway for the most part. Most of them.
It's
I mean,
true.
there are some that's hardcore and burnt their jerseys.
No, Ryno, you nailed it on the head. The people that are saying they're boycotting the NFL.
Wasn't watching it.
Those people weren't watching it.
But they weren't spending $1.
They weren't spending money.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, your viewership doesn't matter. You know, it's the money that's spent, you know, and stuff like that.
The guy that hangs out and watches the local Panther game of the week is not spending money with the Carolina Panthers.
That's exactly right. I think it hurts a little bit as for the just the PR part of it for a second or two, but then it'll pass by, and then, you know, unless there's some backlash here and the players got to go further and they keep on, then we'll see. But right now, nah.
And I'm only going to say one thing about the protest, and it kind of jumps on the back of Dan Patrick, but it adds to it. Dan Patrick is basically saying, do these players understand what they're doing? Do they know when they protest and get on one knee? Because the team is showing unity. It's become more unity than protest.
Exactly.
It's unity against what Trump has said.
Yeah.
But do these players even know what the protest is about? Does anybody really know what the protest is about? Because let's be honest, when Colin Kaepernick started this whole thing, it was when there were shootings of African American black kids in the streets. You taking a knee isn't going to help that. It's not going to prevent a shooting. It's not.
If I had time, we had like a 2-hour show. I'd probably do an hour on what equality or inequality means, and it's totally out of context and it's total garbage. I mean,
I am fine with the unity in the right way.
Yeah,
I'm not big on the knee, but I like what the Cowboys did.
Yeah,
they showed unity in that.
I'm fine with whatever. Just wait the NBA season though. It's going to be off the charts. I mean, you're talking about there's going to be whole teams that go to a knee.
Because there's more free speech in the NBA, there's more individuality, there's more personalities, there's more backlash from owners. Like, owners seem to have more of a say and power in the NBA than, say, the NFL, because they've got, you know, Roger Goodell laying down the hammer. But it's also more diverse.
And some NBA guys try to put forth their hood a little foot more than they are. Like LeBron James, man, you're not from the hood. Not that he's saying that he is, but a lot of these guys, everybody didn't grow up playing in Rucker Park. You know, a lot of these guys were playing AAU, went to big colleges, have money. You know, everybody's not poor. Everybody, there's some grand heels out there. You wasn't, you know, living like the one cat from Shazier or whatever from UConn saying he couldn't eat it some nights when he was at UConn. That's bullshit, by the way. Anyway, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, and the funny thing about it is the same people who say they boycott the NBA aren't watching it. The 65-year-old white guy, he's not watching the Warriors, the Clippers game on, you know, Tuesday night.
I think the hardcore NBA fans don't care. The hardcore NBA fans said what you just said. The backlash from them is going to be greater than the NFL. I think their voices might be heard a little louder, and the controversy might spark up a little higher when the NBA season
starts. Like we talked about before.
I mean, Greg Popovich is already talking.
Okay, true. Your money, though, is driven by middle-class white, not middle-class, upper-class white sponsorship and box seats, you know. So if they start pulling one way or the other, we might see something. Otherwise, it'll just blow over, and then we'll watch the Warriors and the Celtics, or the Warriors and Cavaliers play for the championship.
Speaking of the NBA, a lot of big moves happened this week. Carmelo Anthony to Oklahoma City. You had Dwayne Wade going to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I got to tell you, the more and more I think about that move, I like the Cavaliers a lot better with Dwayne Wade than I did with Kyrie Irving, and I know that makes no sense. But I just feel like Wade is a body there. You trust him to make a clutch shot. Isaiah Thomas, when he gets healthy, I think fits a little better with that Cavs team because Kyrie is his own guy. I like that Cavalier team to challenge the Warriors. What about you?
I think it's going to be interesting them playing the Celtics deal. I think it's going to be interesting. If you match it up, I think Jason Tatum's going to be the X factor this year for Celtics. I mean, if he comes in and he's an 18-6, 8 guy, whatever, he could be big. You know, Kyrie could be hungry to prove something. You know, and they got other pieces that are solid. Gordon Hayward, who knows yet what he'll do? He may be a piece like Kevin Love, or he may be, Kevin Love was the dog at Timberwolves when he came here. He's just a piece, and Gordon Hayward may just be a piece. But we'll see. I don't know yet. I don't know. Wade didn't average 18 points last year. It wasn't like he had 6 points off the bench. He still can score. We'll just see how big his role is.
What do you think about Melo going to OKC?
I don't think it changes anything.
I don't either.
But my thing is, a lot of people still got the Spurs as like the number 2 team in the West, and they haven't really added anything, and they're getting older, and LaMarcus Aldridge don't want to be there, and he's underpaid, or he thinks he is, and Parker's older, and Ginobili's older. I don't think without a move there they compete. I don't think Kawhi Leonard can just single-handedly beat the Rockets, the Thunder, the Warriors, the Trailblazers, whoever. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so.
I think the Spurs have always taken advantage of their depth, the rotations and the substitutions that Greg Popovich makes. This is going to be key now. These bench players are going to have to step up more than ever before because, as you said, Parker and Ginobili
But you're
are
talking
getting
about
old.
you're talking about guys you bring in like Steven Jackson who played a role, Bruce Bowen who played a role, Paul Gasol who plays a role. But everybody, there's not those new guys coming. Even Boris Diaw played a role for a couple years. You don't have those guys as much anymore. And I don't think you can trust Parker and Ginobili. Don't get me wrong, Ginobili's still good, but he's not, he's not starting five for a lot of teams. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. It'll be fun. The Warriors are the team to beat still.
Okay, let's see here. Next on the list, we talked about this on the phone. If you're listening to this and you've never heard of the I Ain't Doing It lady, immediately put it on YouTube. Just put the I Ain't Doing It lady, and 30 videos will come up.
At least, yeah.
And she's hilarious.
From everything from yoga pants to, hell, I don't know. She's got something to do grocery shopping and, whatever, school line. And
She's the new internet sensation. You've had the Southern Mama videos. You've had, there's all types of internet sensations we can go through that have their 15 minutes of fame and their fad. But you brought up a very interesting point where you have these internet stars that, somebody that just does something they think is funny and it goes viral, and then they keep doing it, and then they try to make something out of themselves. Like that Southern Mama guy that does all their Southern Mama videos, he actually does stand-up comedy now, and he fills giant venues with what he does. So he's making good money.
Yeah.
But you brought up a good point on the phone where you said, hey, YouTube's free. Like, podcasts are free. Like, where can these people make money if they don't perform live?
I mean, she does 60-second skits, and they're great. They're great. Unless she gets on YouTube and starts getting advertising dollars, sponsorships like that. I mean, it's cool. It's funny. Yeah, she's got, I don't know how many views, 100,000, a million, whatever. But until that starts making, she can't go on the stage and say, I ain't doing it in regards to 60 different things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she may be a piece of something. She may have 10 minutes on something, but I don't. Just like music and everything else. Like when Napster came along or whatever, people stopped buying albums. People, the technology's pretty much killed anybody making money that way. I mean, YouTube you could, but it's still a minute amount of money. YouTube makes all the damn money, and then you get a piece of it. But I mean, I don't know. I'm interested. The Country Wayne guy, he's funny. And like you talked about the guy who does the Alabama skit every Saturday after Alabama wins or loses or whatever. And they're great, but can they make a substantial amount of money on the web and live?
You're kind of feeling the waters right now because you'd like to do some viral videos of your own, Ramblin with Ryno.
Well, I was going to say, we're going fishing Saturday morning. We got 2 or 3 GoPros. There's guys on YouTube that's million views just fishing, catching fish. We're going to do it. I mean, not to make money, just to cut around and do it. We'll see, but I just don't see, podcasts a little different. You listen to Bill Simmons yourself, and he's got millions of, he can make money. Every 5 minutes he says, well, let's talk about
Squarespace.
Yeah, whatever,
Blue Apron.
Yeah, exactly. So he's selling time on his podcast where we've done one for a year, and just for the heck of it, we just bang around with it, shoot shit, laugh, cut up, and then go on by the business.
You need to go by Leo's like, hey man, how about $50 for the podcast?
Yeah, hey
man.
When you get to listen to my podcast, they can get you a 12-piece of raw fry. See Paul at Leo's. Linda will greet you with a smile. Or maybe not. But anyway, yeah,
Probably not.
There's money to be made out there. I just don't know how they will. Like Southern Mama lady, whatever. It got to be too much for me anyway. But if they got a different offshoot of it, I don't see what they can do an hour of Southern Mama, but he can do also, angry black guy or hardworking Mexican fella or something like that. I guess you could be diverse with it. I don't know. I'm not sure.
There is a huge contingent of these internet sensations that are making money somehow.
Yeah.
Don't know how, but they're making money. And Ryno's trying to tap into that money.
I wouldn't mind it, but I still.
Hey man, throw a couple dollars this way, man.
Hey, look, yeah, a couple $100 a week, I'd be okay.
I'll call somebody a son of a bitch.
Yeah. Hey, pay for the space. Who do you want me to patronize here for 30 minutes?
That's exactly it. That is exactly it.
If you don't have the balls to call somebody son of a bitch, I'll do it for $50.
Oh God, that's good. All right, we got college football this weekend. Let's get through some of the big games here. I hate Friday college football. I hate it. I just hate it. Me being a big high school football guy, it's my passion. I think that day should be reserved for high school. You know, Texas, Iowa State, Miami, Duke is both on a Friday.
No, Texas is tonight.
Oh, Texas is tonight. My bad. Miami, Duke is tomorrow on Friday.
About
USC, Washington State is big. That's a big one on Friday night. And you said on the phone, you're okay with that one being on 10:30. You can get home after the game.
I'm gonna go to the game. I'm gonna go to Waffle House. I'll be home hopefully watching Washington State upset USC. But
see if any big games here jump out at us. Southern Cal, Washington State. That is a big one. Washington State's sneaky, undefeated.
They're good offensively. Mike Leach is smart. You know, that could be Southern Cal hadn't put anybody away yet, so that could come down to the wire.
Let's see here.
Georgia, Tennessee, and not that that's a big game, but everybody seems to think that after two big wins for Georgia, Tennessee's going to be the sneak in there, but Tennessee has given up 400 yards rushing to everybody.
Call me crazy. Indiana, Penn State. I think that could be close. Call me crazy.
I wonder if that Iowa game was a wake-up call for Penn State, maybe, though. You know, you just never know. You never know how those go.
Could have been.
Clemson, Virginia Tech could be the bell cow this weekend.
That's the game of the week. Yep. That's the game of the week. That is in Blacksburg, college game day in the house.
Yep. Clemson's probably last big test, maybe NC State. You think they'll give them a test, and they may. But Virginia Tech, like you say, on the road, 8 o'clock after coming off a lackluster performance against Boston College, and that may be a wake-up call too. That may be practicing harder this week.
Yeah, it could have been a wake-up call, but don't you agree, Ryno, that every single team, every Saturday is going to give Clemson their absolute best. It's going to be the Super Bowl for that team that plays Clemson.
Especially a Boston College team that may not win 3-4 games. I mean, they was neck and neck for 3 quarters with the best team in the land, or the second best team in the land, however you want to figure it. And yeah, you're right. They gave them all they could.
All right, so Clemson, Virginia Tech, who you got? You gonna take the Hokies?
Nah, I'm not betting against Clemson till they lose. I mean, they just always show, 7 points, 8 points. I don't want to mess.
8-point line.
Yeah, no, I won't mess with that part.
Oh.
I mean,
I wouldn't even take that in a teaser. I wouldn't even touch that.
Even if it was even spread, it's such a coin flip because Clemson couldn't lose that game, but then again they could win by 20. I mean, they beat the piss out of Louisville and they dominated Auburn. Didn't score a lot, but they dominated the line. So
Virginia Tech hasn't really played anybody. I mean, they played Old Dominion, they played East Carolina,
and they got a freshman quarterback, and you can put a lot of pressure on. If you can shake Lamar Jackson, you definitely can shake. I think Josh Jackson or something like that's his name.
That's his name, Josh Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, he's got good numbers, but like you said. Everybody scores 60 against East Carolina.
I don't want to sound cliche, but magical things do happen at night in Blacksburg.
Yeah. At night, and that's the thing. Like tonight, or tonight and tomorrow night, those weekday games where kids get out of school or don't go to school, drink all day, and this place is electric. It's the only game in town or on TV, or whatever. And like Iowa State tonight, they're gonna be they're gonna be riled up the whole day. They've been getting riled up for this, and Texas hadn't gotten there yet. This may be Iowa State might get a big win tonight.
Let's go to the NFL, and I totally forgot this game was in London, and now I'm excited because I know it's going to be on TV. The Saints and the Dolphins across the pond in London. The Dolphins were almost shut out by the Jets. They put a late touchdown, but they still lost the New York Jets. Saints get a win over the Panthers. I actually think this is going to be a fun game. The over-under is set at 50.5, so Vegas seems to think there's going to be a ton of points.
Well, what was the total point scored in the Panthers Saints? Was it like 33-16 or something like that?
33-16 sounds right.
Yeah. 49-50. That's interesting to me. I don't know what the Saints look really good offensively. And the Dolphins didn't, of course. But who knows? And I don't even know how you adjust to that really.
That's a high point total for a Dolphin team that hasn't scored more than 16 points. Yeah. So.
And Cutler didn't look very good this past weekend against the Jets team that's not very good. So.
I think total in 2 weeks, Miami has scored what, 23?
Something like that.
Oof. Yeah, that's not good. Panthers are banged up. Do you give them any shot in New England?
No.
None.
Not even. I mean,
How about Brandon Cooks though? You expected Cooks to finally get rhythm, and he did. and it was that game-winning touchdown pass against the Texans.
Tiptoed right on his corner, and Brady stepped up and just bombed it right in there. And I don't know how that guy gets open in that spot. I don't know how you don't push him out, pass interference, whatever you got to do. You can't give that up. But yeah, the Patriots still aren't clicking like they should. Maybe they did give up a lot of points to Deshaun Watson.
And Houston gives them trouble ever since, 2 years ago, that playoff game. They've given them fits.
It's got to be some confidence for Houston, but that loss earlier to Jacksonville, you can't be losing too many more games. I mean, you're working yourself out of there.
Here's a question for you.
All right.
Outside of Moss, Gronk, and Welker, who's the best wide receiver that Brady's had? I mean, those are the top three.
Julian Edelman.
All right, under Julian Edelman.
Outside of those?
Like, give me a guy that never made a Pro Bowl that you think could be a success on another team.
Well, I mean, Amendola probably could have been. He just got rocked every game.
He had a good year for the Rams.
Yeah, but then he get a concussion or two concussions. James White is a player I think can play anywhere. He's like a Danny Woodhead kind of guy. He can play running back in between the tackles. He can catch the screen passes. Kind of like, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, kind of like LT in the form that he can do, catch as good as he can, run. I don't know, man. Belichick can just pick up these guys. I mean, for Christ's sake, Julian Edelman was a damn quarterback at Kent State, and next thing you know, he's returning punts in the NFL. I mean,
I guess what I'm trying to get at is,
ask Bill Belichick. He could probably tell you 16 guys. I mean,
I think Cooks is that next guy in line.
Yeah.
I think he's that next guy.
He's different than those other than Moss that he can get down the field. Edelman's a 7-yard break a tackle, get 14 yards. He didn't go down the field. Gronk will go down the middle of the field, and Moss will. But Cooks got the speed, man, and they run him at least one a game on an end around or something. So. Yeah, Cooks could be that next guy for them.
All right, let's look at these lines here. Are the Rams for real? They play Dallas. I think we're going to find out just how good they are.
They did
score 40. Like the
Rams? They gave up 39 to the 49ers. What? Who's
no,
Brian Hoyer?
Rams got a little swagger. Yeah, the Hoyer is from San Francisco.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They gave up 39 points to Brian Hoyer.
No, Rams got a little swagger about them.
Yeah, they get the shit beat out of them this week.
All right, we'll see.
I like Todd Gurley. He's going to get hurt in the next 3 games. I don't trust him.
Trying to pick out the big games.
Yeah.
Steelers Ravens is always good. It's always ugly.
Yeah, Ravens will come back from the egg they laid in London.
Bills Falcons. If the Bills can keep that close for a half, that could be a fun game.
It's in Atlanta?
It's in Atlanta.
No shot.
No shot. Okay. Giants Bucks. I think will have a great finish.
Oh, I'm sure. That's an ugly game there.
Those two teams are like the same.
Who the Vikings playing?
The Vikings have the Lions.
Yeah, Case Keenum throwing for 3-something other, and Dalvin Cook running for 130.
Steph Diggs,
and
man.
Steph Diggs, and they got the Adam Thielen, and
Steph Diggs from? Come on, really? Barely.
Furman.
He's a Turk. Come on, man. Let's see here. Eagles at Chargers, I think is going to be one of those awesome games. I know you like the Eagles. I don't. I don't think the Eagles are that good. But the Chargers always have fun.
Well,
they always find ways to lose.
Yeah, it would be a 3-point game in the fourth quarter somehow, and then either pick 6 or miss field goal, and they'll go to 0-4. And the NFL will make them move back to San Diego because they can't sell 10,000 tickets in LA.
Raiders and Broncos. That's a good one, right?
That's a tough call. The Broncos lose to the Bills, the Raiders lose to the Redskins, and then you come back. Man.
Here's a spread that I just don't understand. Have you seen the spread yet, by the way?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. We need to do the guess the spread game.
It's hard when you try to gamble and it's Thursday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was Monday, you had me like we used to do.
You look at them lines on Mondays.
Thursday, I got to know because I'm about, I got some money on the overs tonight.
Seahawks by 13 over the Colts. I know the Colts aren't very good, but gosh, neither are the Seahawks.
Seahawks been playing some bad football.
I know.
I guess they're thinking defensively they can sew up Brissett. He's not going to beat them too many times long. They can play man against them.
But is that one of those games where Vegas wants you to take the Colts because the Seahawks have played bad football? Like that feels like the fix is in Vegas. Like the Seahawks are going to win by 30, and they want all that action on the Colts.
Could be. Maybe they'd make it 15 if they want you to make the Colts, though, because that 13 and a half scare you away from 14. I don't know, man. Vegas knows what they're doing, but I don't.
Call me crazy. I think the game of the week might be on Monday night. Redskins and Chiefs. I know it's in KC. Redskins are playing good football.
That's the only thing that scares me about that game. If it was whatever they call it now, RFK / what's it called now?
FedEx.
FedEx Field, yeah. I would give the Redskins a nod because they blew the Raiders off the field at home.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City's just different at home.
Yeah.
And it's not cold now. Like it is in November there, but still, man, they just play so fast there. It seems like Albert Wilson, Tyreek Hill, the Hunt kid, Kelsey, they just play so much better. They, you know, and don't get me wrong, the biggest win of the season is the Patriots at Foxborough, but still, they play so good at Arrowhead.
Give me your lock this weekend. Give me a lock.
NFL lock?
Spread. Give me a lock.
Man.
I think my lock is the Patriots by 9. I think that's my lock.
You going against your boys?
I think the Panthers are going to go in a pretty bad downward spiral for 2 weeks until they figure out an answer on offense. Because Cam's playing like crap. Oh, and Cam Newton comes out and calls Colin Kaepernick a legend. How many legends do you know, Cam, that are unemployed? Give me a break.
Cam is trying to keep himself. He can't keep himself relevant by play. He's just running his mouth like a fucking baby. I'll take Jacksonville to beat the Jets. I think Jacksonville is playing well.
That's your lock?
Yeah, lock.
Jacksonville to beat the Jets?
Yeah, man, give me that.
But it would be the most Jacksonville thing ever to beat the Ravens 44-7 and then go and lose to the Jets.
I think the Jets are terrible, and they did score 20 last week, but I don't think they can. Jacksonville's defense is pretty good, man. And if you want a lock,
give me another lock.
I'll take the Bengals.
Again, another road team.
Yeah,
that's a game the Browns could win, right?
No.
No?
Fontez Perfect's coming back from suspension. Shit, man. You asking the guy a serial loser. I mean, I don't know. Seattle at home on Sunday night. They play well at home. It's a night game. You know.
Maybe the Ravens were thinking a little bit ahead to the Steelers. Maybe that's why they got shellacked in London by the Jags.
I don't know what excuse you used. I mean,
well, I guarantee you this: the Ravens ain't gonna get beat 44-7 by the Steelers. That ain't gonna happen.
No.
That game's gonna be like 13-10.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
Give me a lock in college.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Your Bulldogs.
I don't get it, man. People still.
When they're in the national championship, you're gonna be like, "Hey, man, I told y'all."
We'll go back to those archives, and I'll be like, I don't see. You know, don't get me wrong. I hate Georgia. That's one. Clemson's 1A rival. Georgia's 1B rival to South Carolina, and it has been for a long time. Especially, but man, you got 10 returning starters on defense with Kirby Smart. You got Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, two of the best running backs two of the top 5 running backs in the SEC, and a quarterback that's played well enough. They beat Notre Dame, and I know everybody don't know how good Notre Dame is. Notre Dame's a pretty good football team, man. They deep as well, and they, I didn't crown Mississippi State, but everybody else did, media-wise, SEC Network and shit, and they beat the damn brakes off of them. I mean, beat them to death, and they're gonna do the same thing to Tennessee. It's not gonna be close. I got 450 reasons to believe that they're going to win this son of a bitch by 8 points or better. This is what I think. And go back to, college. That South Carolina Texas A&M game. I wouldn't put a quarter down like at the Carnival on. If you had Texas A&M, I wouldn't put 1 quarter on there because both of those teams are Jekyll and Hyde.
You have no idea what you're getting from.
And not at 10 points either. I might take Texas A&M, but I don't know they can stop anybody.
But the thing is, Texas A&M scored, 43 points?
50. They went 50 to 43,
yeah. 50? I don't know if the Gamecocks can score.
They have a receiver that's the most dynamic. I can't think of his name real quick, but
I don't know if the Gamecocks can score 40. I don't know.
I don't know that they can stop Texas A&M. I mean, they don't give up points. That's the one thing South Carolina. Between the 20s, they're terrible, but they somehow keep teams at the end zone. But if you get a good wide receiver and a good quarterback, Bryson Allen Williams for Carolina's out. Their best DB linebacker, whatever you want to call him, they could get exposed and they could get hurt. I mean, bad.
All right, your birthday is tomorrow.
Yes.
As we record this on a Thursday. So, I know you can hear me moving the mic. That's terrible. Give me your, dream birthday meal. You can take an appetizer from one place, an entree from another. This is kind of like your prison meal. But, give me your ultimate meal.
Wow.
Where it's it's a good day that you had this meal.
Okay, I would get... my appetizer will be calamari, just because I love it, or a squid salad from a.
God, you're such a redneck.
Rednecks don't eat that shit.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
hey man, let me get some of that squid.
Give me some squid salad from one of these Japanese restaurants, and it would have to be a big 16-ounce prime rib, and give me about 4 clusters of. 4 clusters of crab legs, maybe a couple pieces of sushi, and then give me an Oreo milkshake.
Okay, because you're not a big sweet tooth guy.
Nah. And I gotta I probably had to wait to drink that milkshake before I get home because that milk is. He throw that damn prime rib and seafood together, man. I'm gonna be looking for the outhouse or something other. But I don't know, man. I mean, I like a lot of things. I eat a lot of stuff. I mean, there ain't something I'm just dead set like.
No, but you're a steak and potato guy.
Yeah. I do eat steak more often than not, but I do like seafood. And there's some guys that's gonna eat a 12-ounce ribeye no matter where they go. That's not me. You know, I love prime rib. I'll eat a ribeye, I'll eat a sirloin. New York strip, whatever, but I don't like chicken. That's the thing. So that knocks that right off the board there. But I will eat ribs, and I do like pork.
Weird you don't like chicken. That's such a weird thing to me.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I mean, chicken wings on Monday night we eat, but I'll never say let's go eat chicken wings. And a lot of times when we go to chicken wing places, I eat a burger or something.
So weird to me.
I know it seems weird to me too, but.
Well, enjoy your birthday. I'm sure you'll get plenty of Facebook messages and funny memes on there.
I have to at least charge my battery 3 times the mark, and then you get red marks like my last term paper in high school. But I'll probably end up eating fish sticks and Jello or something tomorrow when I get home from the game or something ridiculous.
Ramblin with Ryno on Spreaker, YouTube, and I'm going to choke someone out if this thing isn't on iTunes by the weekend. That's for darn sure. But it'll be on iTunes very soon. He is Ryan Brenham. I am Tyler Cup. This is Ramblin with Ryno, and we are out.